Episode 57 DHF May 4th, 2025 Talk Show Spy Doctor. Prescribing the COVID-19 vaccine to James Bond. Larry the Litigator welcome residents against would smoke emission particulates to our talk show. We are traveling far afield today with our guest GII Dr. Ms. Mary Admirable, who was fired today because she prescribed COVID-19 vaccines for GII employees, which included Spies First Class like our own American James Bond, also known as Pawn James Bond, whose duties echoed those of the fictional James Bond across the pond at MI6 in the fictional films whose agency was run by females. Like M portrayed by Dame Judy Dench and Miss Moneypenny portrayed by Lois Ruth Maxwell in the first 14 films from 1962 to 1985 in that fictional universe. RAWSEP Audience Those Bond films were something like the Marvel Universe films, not really reflecting any reality, but portraying the fictional James Bond as an agent for the real British Secret Service. The fictional James Bond in the books by Ian Fleming worked for MI6, which is a division of the real British intelligence services, MI6. You may know that in the United Kingdom UK, in reality MI6 is the governmental agency responsible for dealing with matters of internal security and counterintelligence overseas. Formed in 1912, the agency was officially named the Secret Intelligence Service SIS in 1964, but the name MI6 remains in popular use. Larry the Litigator, okay, you were saying that no one remembers James Bond from back in 1964, unless they are oldsters. Point taken, I should retire. RAWSEP Audience know what we are interested in is the female intelligence influence in the real MI6, or the US equivalent in the good old USA this side of the pond. This spy doctor at the American GII prescribed the COVID-19 vaccine as soon as the vaccine was available to agents of the DII, and now she was just fired for doing just that by a functionary of dump, or, as I familiarly call him, RAW. Larry the Litigator, mandatory COVID-19 vaccines are the reason for firing Dr. Mary Admirable this week. RAWSEP Audience, through the grapevine, we heard that she saved countless lives on our side of the spy game. Larry the Litigator, it is not just a rumor. It is fact. Late last year, the GII recruited the Dr. Mary Admirable, a pseudonym of course, to take a top medical job as the director of the GII Center for Global Health Services. Within days, a low-ranking operative named Von Rankling, a pseudonym of course for a far-right provocateur, accused her of being the architect of the COVID-19 vaccine mandate of the Pentagon. RAWSEP Audience, and she truly was an architect of the COVID-19 vaccine mandate of the Pentagon. And she should be darn proud of it too. She saved many lives. Larry the Litigator, Von Rankling in reality accused Dr. Mary Admirable of genocide and mass mutilation for her support of the COVID-19 vaccine. RAWSEP Audience, we are puzzled. A vaccine that is safety tested like the COVID-19 vaccine should save lives and not kill people too much, or not at all. A COVID-19 vaccine saves lives and prevents long COVID, which we do not want our spies to experience. It will put them out of action for a while, or maybe permanently. Larry the Litigator, right you are. Scientific and medical tests prove that the COVID-19 vaccine is safe and effective. RAWSEP Audience, oh, this vaccine skeptic is confusing Dr. Mary Admirable with Dr. No. Dr. Mary Admirable does not even own a cat to our knowledge. Larry the Litigator, your knowledge is very limited where spies are concerned, but Dr. Mary Admirable does not grow her pinky nail long and sharp, as actor Mike Myers portrays that Dr. Evil does in the Austin Powers films to my knowledge. She is also not bald with a facial scar to my knowledge. RAWSEP Audience, there is someone who reminds me of Dr. Evil with his clownish demeanor and evil intentions running the characteristics through my bat brain. Thinking bingo. There is something very 2025 evilish about Dr. Evil that reminds me of Dump or Rump, as I familiarly call him now that I have become reacquainted with his quaintness and whimsy in the last 100 or so days, which is everyone calls the last 100 years of solitude from the rest of the world, at least in public opinion. Larry the Litigator, the wanton destructiveness, the lack of self-awareness, the stupidity, you mean. RAWSEP Audience bingo. Hey, did you know that democratically liberal incumbent prime ministers were re-elected in Australia and Canada in the last week based on mass disgusted reactions to what those countries are witnessing dump or rump due to America in the last 100 or so days? Larry the Litigator, we need a hero like Dr. Mary Admirable to stay and fight for the health of the GII operatives like James Bond, or as I like to say, Pawn James Bond. RAWSEP Audience, well, Dr. Mary Admirable was 62, which is super old, but she was within only a month of qualifying for full retirement benefits, so she is suing the GII. Larry the Litigator, lots of luck. Get in line at the legal firm Dr. Mary Admirable. But seriously, we know you are a real person, and we wish you well, and more than well. You saved many lives with your COVID-19 vaccine mandate for federal employees. You are a heroine. RAWSEP Audience, well, this has been fun talking about the fictional universe of James Bond, which is so like the fictional universe of the Marvel films. Larry the Litigator, well, we get our fun where we can find it. Thanks for keeping your super cool ski goggles on through this entire episode. RAWSEP Audience, you remind me of James Bond skiing down a Swiss mountain when you rise in unison and applaud for Dr. Mary Admirable. We have blown her cover as a mild-mannered doctor and shown her to be a super patriotic super spy. She could not be with us today because that would reveal whether she resembles either actress Dame Judy Dench or actress Lois Ruth Maxwell. This talk show has been more like a book club than a talk show. Sorry, audience. RAWSEP Audience, maybe at the next talk show we could get back to the issue of indoor residential wood burning PM 2.5 emissions from near neighbors entering our yards and infiltrating our homes and sickening us. Larry the Litigator, stay tuned for a future episode of the RAWSEP Talk Show, where we find out finally if the problem of indoor residential wood burning has been solved by hanging a Purple Air PM 2.5 monitor from the eaves of the house of a near neighbor and downloading the data from that Purple Air PM 2.5 monitor as evidence of PM 2.5 levels reaching the yard of a near neighbor of an indoor residential wood burner. That evidence should be used to shut down each air-polluting indoor residential wood burner, one indoor residential wood burner at a time, if necessary. RAWSEP Audience, that is our simple slogan, Larry. Larry the Litigator, until next time, RAWSEP Audience, keep it clean and stay well. And get the next COVID-19 vaccine, which should be available in fall 2025 unless shanghaied by Dr. Evil or Rump or Dump or both.